Pre-Algebra Fall Exam Review continues. So this time we're asked to graph the inequality on a number line. So always start by looking at whatever number they give you. In this case they gave us the number 3. So we look at the number 3. And here we've got to decide whether we're going to put an open circle or a closed circle. Because there is no or equal to line, it's just greater than, we put an open circle. So greater than, we put an open circle, and since y is greater than 3, we need to shade to the right because those are the numbers bigger than 3. Remember, as long as the variable's on the left side, it's almost like this is an arrow pointing you saying shade to the right. Now on number 70, t is less than or equal to 28. So we go to 28, and because there is an or equals to mark, I put a closed circle on 28. And since it's less than, I go to the left to mark the numbers that are less than 28. Okay, now on your exam, I will have these formulas for you, but I'm not going to label them whether they're rectangle or triangle. However, they're going to be in the same order here. So these are the rectangle ones, and these are the triangle ones. So you will have to remember which side is which. But I hope at this point, rectangle being length times width, triangle being half base times height, stuck in your memory anyway. Okay, so again, on the exam, you can ask, but I won't answer which side is rectangle, which side is triangle. You'll be given these 4 formulas, just like you see them here, but you'll have to know which shape to go with. So first it says find the area and the perimeter of this shape. So this this triangle, the perimeter, we use A plus B plus C, meaning we just add together the 3 outside sides. So we got one here, here, and here. So we have 15 plus 11 plus 23 for the perimeter. So we add 15 plus 11, that's 26. Plus 23 is 49 inches. Don't forget to put the units. Remember to include units in your answer. Now for area, we do half times the base, which is 23, times the height, which is 7.5. So notice, this 7.5 that represents this dotted line, it's not used in the perimeter because it's not one of the outer edges. It is used for the area because it is the height of that triangle. So you're obviously allowed to use your calculator for this part. You can type that in. You can type in 0.5 for the 1/2. You can type in 1 divided by 2, whichever you prefer. And you'll get 86.25 square inches. So remember, area, the unit, not the number, the unit is always squared. Okay, 72, area and perimeter of this shape. So this is a rectangle, so for the perimeter it's the 2L plus 2W. So the length is 19, the width is 12. 2 times 19 is 38. 2 times 12 is 24. And we add those two together and we get 62 meters. Then for the area, we do length times width, which is 19 times 12. We multiply those two together, and we get 228 square meters. Okay, 73. If a rectangle with the width of 12 inches, so I'm going to go and write down what they tell me. Width is 12. Has a perimeter of 54 inches. What is the length of the rectangle? So they tell me the width is 12. They tell me the perimeter is 54. And they ask me to find the length. Well, since they said a rectangle and perimeter, I know I'll be using P equals 2L plus 2w. So they told me p is equal to 54, so I'm just plugging in what they told me is the perimeter, equals 2 times L, we don't know L, plus 2 times the width, which they told me was 12, so I plug that in for the width. We double the 12, 2 times 12 is 24, then we subtract 24 from both sides. So that gives me 30 equals 2L. Then I divide both sides by 2, so I get that the length is 15 inches. '74. Find the base of a triangle. So the base is what we're looking for, whose area is 56 square inches and whose height is 7 inches. So again, I wrote down what they told me and what they're asking for as I read through it. Now we see the word triangle and we see the word area, so I know we use the formula A equals 1/2 base times height. So I plug in 56 for A. I don't know the base, I do know the height. Now there's more than one way you could go about solving for B. The way I'm going to choose to do it is to go ahead and divide both sides by 7. So that gives me 8 equals 1/2 times B. And then you can divide both sides by 1/2, which is the same thing as multiplying by 2. If you do 8 divided by 0.5 in your calculator, you'll get 16 inches for the base. Because dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So we get 2 times 8, which is 16. Okay, now we're dealing with ratios. Reading the instructions here is very important. Express each ratio as a fraction in its simplest form. So 12 cats for 8 dogs. Unless it's money, I just do it in the order they say. Money always comes first. But if they just give you a list of things, put the first number on top, second number on the bottom. Those are both divisible by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, 2 cups of sugar to 8 cups of flour. Those are both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, 77, we're switching to unit rates. That's when you divide, you have to include units for some words. So they told us how much 5 pounds of beef costs, but we want to find out how much is 1 pound costs. So give me just a second and I'll pull up a calculator. Here we go. Where did that go from? There's my mouse, okay. So we know how much 5 pounds cost, $12.45. We want to divide that by 5, because we always put money first. $12.45 divided by 5. We find out that 1 pound costs $2.49. So my answer would need to say $2.49 per pound. And you can say PER instead of using the slash if you want to. Or you can say for 1 pound. That's also okay. Okay, 78. Which set of numbers is proportional? So we got to see if they all reduce to the same number or not. So 3/8 won't reduce any farther. 6/16, we can divide them both by 2. That does give us 3/8. We can divide these both by 3. That gives us 3/8. So it's all the same so far. These are both divisible by 4. So we get 3/10. So that's the odd man out. So that one is not proportional. Okay, 1/5, that's reduced as far as it can go. can divide both of these by 2 and get 1/5. Divide both of these by 3 and get 1/4. So we know right there, no good. Okay, 1/3 is reduced as far as it can go. 2/6 can reduce to 1/3. 3/9 can reduce to 1/3. Divide top and bottom by 3. 4/12 also reduces to 1/3. Divide the top and bottom by 4. So all 3 of these match, or 4 of these match. So the answer is C. Just in case you're curious, D goes 1/2, 1/2, then 4/7, and 5/8. So that is not a match either. Those are not proportional because the rates are not the same. Speaking of proportions, this will be the last one for this video. To solve a proportion, which is when you have a fraction equal to a fraction, you cross multiply. 5 times x equals 4 times 12. And then you divide both sides by 5 to get x by itself. And you get x equals 9.6.